Natasha, and thank you so much for joining me today. Well, this whole card was created around one paper pad that is absolutely stunning, my most favorite. But first of all, I'm going to show you some tips and tricks all throughout this video. Now, these packages here, I can never get these open without ripping the tops of them, and I keep most of my things in the original packages. So a quick tip here is that if you use your heat gun and heat some of the adhesive that is keeping these closed, then I just take anything like a palette knife, probably a metal one would be better, but it was so easy, this plastic one glided through here, and this means that the package is opened without ripping everything, because every single time, without fail, from these Gemini by the Crafter's Companion packaging, I rip them. So I have two here. One is the birthday celebrations and one is with Sympathy. These are just really simple, gorgeous, kind of scripty sentiments. Not too delicate because they have, I think they're sort of sturdy enough, but they are a delicate sort of look. Now, when it comes to die cutting these, I'm going to be die cutting it with some of the Nautical by Hero Arts paper. This is just essentially a dark blue or a navy blue cardstock. I have been branching out a little bit recently. I had mentioned on some of my videos that I was going to try some vanilla cardstock and maybe a little bit of navy blue just in the bigger ones so that I could also create card bases. Everything coordinates nicely. So this is me trying to branch out a little bit. Now, admittedly, this is essentially today I'm using it as colored paper or colored cardstock, but that's okay, small steps. So I have some in my craft room, which is nice. And then when it comes to die cutting, I am using some Stick It double-sided adhesive. Now this is the one, this is sort of double-sided adhesive sheets, but these are so thin that they are perfect for when it comes to die cutting. So if I were to use my thicker ones, the other ones that I absolutely love are these scrapbook.com double-sided adhesive sheets, but I find that these are thick and they don't, they do die cut the first layer, but they don't die cut out usually the bottom layer. So they end up being more like a sticker that you can kind of peel off the backing sheet. Whereas this here, the whole die cut is going to come out. The adhesive is on the back as well as the release paper. Everything cuts beautifully. So this is my preference when it comes to die cutting. You can see this is relatively delicate and the die still cut through all of the layers and it's come out nicely. I'm just poking out all those little middle bits with my little pokey tool here, and then that means it's ready to go when I come to use it a little bit later on in this video. Now next up, I'm going to be using a die set that is from Momenta. This is called Flowers and Leaves, so very appropriately named. But the reason that I'm going to be using this set is because I want it to go with the kind of scripty, delicate look that the die that I cut for the sentiment also has. So this has kind of the same thickness of lines, and I feel that I can pair these up really well together. So I just went through my stash, found what I thought would work, and then this is what I'm going to use. Now I could not decide between two of the flowers, so I come back and I actually get another one as well. I just couldn't make up my mind, so I may as well die cut both of them. Now at this point, I will be very honest and say that actually I did a whole lot in between this. I did some watercoloring using these colors here. I put it onto some watercolor paper and then I was die cutting them out. That's what I thought I wanted to do with my flowers, because this is the paper pad that I was talking about that inspired me. When I saw this one released, I snapped up one of the 6x6 copies. This is the Dress My Craft Awesome Blossom scrapbooking papers. Now there are 24 papers in here. There are 12 different designs, so 2 sheets of each one. These are 240 GSM, so these are relatively thick, I would say. These are not a paper at all. They're more of like a cardstock. These are just stunning, absolutely stunning. These are all perfect pre-made backgrounds. They kind of inspire me, and I feel like I can lift off from these designs. Now don't get me wrong, there's potential that I could make some of these backgrounds myself with a lot of work put in, but these are pre-made. They are ready to go. They are inspiring to me. It is bright, it is colorful. I love this. So when I got this, I could not help myself. I was so excited, and that's why this whole video came about, because I just wanted to use this. Now, as I said, I thought I was going to use these inks and this is the piece from the paper pad that I'm going to use, and I was trying to match some of the colors, and then I would cut the flowers out of it. But as I said, I'm going to tell you the truth and say that it didn't look great. It just didn't work. When I put it together, I was like, not really. And so that's okay. We do a little bit of a tangent off to the side and we move on to the next option. So I'm taking some of the navy cardstock again, or the Nautical cardstock, and I have another piece of sticker on the back of that. I'm going to die cut these gorgeous flowers out of that. And this card is so simple. This is so simple to put together. But I really did enjoy myself. I had a whole lot of fun. It wasn't stressful. The background was created. It inspired me. I knew what I wanted to go for. I needed a nice big card, so I ended up making this one maybe 5 by 7, I think. I die cut out a few of these, and I thought I might even layer them up. The right hand one that I just put away was one that I'd done with the watercolors. So yeah, I wasn't sure at this point. I was really just having a lovely time playing, and this here is just so stunning. So I was enjoying looking at it. I know I need to cut this down, so as I said, I'm going to cut it down to fit roughly a 5 by 7-ish card, but honestly, it doesn't matter how big the card base is. You make it to suit yourself. So I've got it on there, but I just want it to stand out a little bit more, so I'm going to pop a layer of cardstock behind it, a little matting layer, using the same Nautical cardstock. This is so easy. Everything is going to coordinate. I've cut all the die cuts out of the Nautical paper, and I'm using it as a matting layer, so everything ties in nicely. Then I'm just trying to find the best place on my piece of cardstock here that I can kind of, you know, make the most out of the piece of cardstock and not chop into the middle. So then I'm going to line this up just roughly using my little 4 tabs technique, where I have 4 pieces on the back and I leave a little tab out, and then once I've lined it up, I can pull all of my tabs so it's nice and even. I use some Tim Holtz long bladed scissors. These are the 9.5 inch ones, I believe. That way I can cut nice straight lines, or you could use a trimmer. A trimmer would be perfect too. But then I have some adhesive, double-sided adhesive on the back of that one as well. And here's the little 4 tab technique that I was talking about. I have a little piece in the middle as well. And then that way when you pull the tabs out, you're able to move this around so that all 4 of your sides are perfectly lined up. Once they're lined up, you press the little bit in the middle that we took off and then pull out the tabs, and everything is nice and equal. Now these all have sticker adhesive on the back, so this is going to be so simple. It's a really peel and stick sort of episode here. So we're going to peel this off. I'm going to use this gorgeous long sentiment as essentially a flower stem. So I'm going to put it up from the bottom. I am going to lose just a tiny bit of the twirl at the bottom, but that's okay. I will cut that off. And then same goes with the top. When I come to put the flower on here, all of those little pieces come out with it, which is great. And then I just need to get some of the little center pieces out. And then I am going to, the little twirl on the end is actually just a smidgy too long. So I'm going to cut a wee bit of that off. But if I were putting this across a card front, this is going to reach right across the 4 1/4 by 5.5 inch card front. So it is perfect. But for this, I'm just going to chop a little bit off the top, and this is a gorgeous flower ready to go. I am going to add a few little sequins because this card is super simple, but I think this was really fun to create, and it didn't take me long at all. If I took out the watercoloring bit in the middle, it didn't take me too long at all. I'm looking forward to showing you more creative ways that we can use these gorgeous sentiment dies that we have. And other than that, I, as usual, will have links down below in case you would like to check out any of the supplies I've used in today's video. I also have a link to the Buy Me a Coffee in case you would like to support my channel. That means the world to me. It helps everything keep going, and it helps me deliver the 3 videos every week that I pop on here. And then I also have an address, a P.O Box address, if you'd like to send me some snail mail. I love, it's the highlight of my week going to open that, and I might even be featuring some of the cards on here. I appreciate the time and effort that has been put into them so much, so I was thinking about a nice way that I'm able to show you and share them, so I thought I might even include some in the end. But next time, thank